Have you ever thought about growing peanuts in the home garden? Yeah, I hadn't either until I moved to South Alabama and they were growing everywhere. And I was like, okay, I gotta grow some peanuts. So I've been growing peanuts about 7 years now, off and on. I don't grow them every year, but they're super fun to grow and one of my favorite things to grow. So a couple things to know about peanuts is that they need a long growing season. So it takes about 4 to 5 months for them to reach full maturity. So if you don't have that long of a warm season, you're just going to want to go ahead and start them inside as opposed to planting the peanut seeds. And I've done that too here as an experiment. Still works just as well. The other thing is they really need quite a bit of space. So when I say quite a bit of space, I mean each plant needs like 2 feet around it. That's going to give you the best harvest because the plant needs to grow out to form the peanut, which I'll show you in a minute. Other thing I love about peanuts is they are really just a plant it and forget it type of crop. So you literally just plant the seed, wait for it to grow. They're a legume, so they don't require really any supplemental fertilizer. They're pretty much don't have a lot of pests. Now, I do have problems sometimes with squirrels, especially like first planting or when it gets close to harvest time. I guess they can just like smell the peanuts. So you do want to be mindful of that and maybe birds. But for the most part, they're pretty much pest free. So let's turn this around and I will show you my peanut patch. So here is my peanut patch this year. Now this is a 4x4 bed. And the funniest part is I did not plant any of this. So I grew peanuts here last year and thought that I harvested them all, which clearly I did not. And in the springtime, I grew potatoes in the same bed. And as the potatoes started to grow back or to die back, once they reached maturity, I noticed all of these peanut plants coming up. So I was like, well, this is super cool. So they were just all volunteers and the timing was perfection. Like I could not have planned it any better. And they were even kind of like in rows. It was so cool. So now I have peanuts in here. Didn't even plant it. I did put up some chicken wire again just to help the squirrels. I only have it halfway around, but they tend to kind of come from this way. So that's why I have the chicken wires here. But let me show you how the peanut grows. So it's a beautiful plant. Like I said, makes a great cover crop. Doesn't require, like I said, really any supplemental fertilizer. You do want to plant it in like some nice, composted soil. But after that, you don't really need anything. It's pretty low on water maintenance. Doesn't really take a ton of water, just kind of like whatever it gets from the rain. It seems to work for me. It may be different depending on your situation. I'm pretty wet down here, so it works out. But just, kind of watch your plants, listen to your plants. But how do the peanuts grow? So you get this big, beautiful plant. Then it will start to form these little flowers. And from the flower, it forms a peg, which is this right here. And you can see it's kind of pointy, not sharp though, but that's to go into the ground because from the end of the peanut, or excuse me, from the end of the peg is where your peanut is going to form right here. That's going to be a future peanut. It's not cooperating. Right there. So this is why you need quite a bit of space in order to get, a nice harvest. So this is the base of the plant right here. Can you see that? And then you can see it's a good, at least 1.5 feet all the way out here, where it's forming the pegs that are going to set down in the soil. I've disturbed this, but it'll work itself out, don't worry. And they form fairly shallow underground. When you go to pull them, they're just like right under the surface. And it'll smell like peanuts when you harvest them, which is also super fun. So be sure to subscribe so you can see the peanut harvest. These guys, as you can see, still have a ways to go, but I will be sure to video the harvest so you guys can see what it looks like at that time. So I'd love to know if you've ever grown peanuts too. Let me know in the comments, and thanks for being here. Happy growing, friends!